is to try to prove to themselves, not to us, but to themselves, that they don't need us men. A bitch can't even fuck herself in the bedroom without a dick.
Shit, there's
A
all kind
bitch
of
can't
shit you can
even
use.
have,
You
a
can use
bitch
this
can't
clear
even
right here,
have
this one, like they all work. Two of them,
you
they
women
work.
can't even have, look
Yeah,
at you running your mouth.
yeah,
You women
Lord
can't
knows that.
even have a child. You can't even have a child without our sperm.
You can't
When
either.
you
What the fuck? You can't have a child without us.
when
You
you
still
women
need to
stop trying to
fertilize the
figure
egg.
out
What the fuck?
when
I don't
you
get it.
gonna let me talk?
Maybe you
When
can't
you
make
women
shit
start
grow.
trying to figure out how to survive without us, I guarantee you, you will see the level of relationships climb to its highest level. To its highest level. I think a lot of people don't even understand what the word relationship means. Relationship is not a struggle. Relationship is not sacrifice. Love is sacrifice, but not a
Bullshit.
relationship. A
Bullshit.
relationship is
Bullshit. Relationship is sacrifice like a motherfucker, boy.
You
let me finish.
regurgitating the red
Let me
pill,
finish.
brother.
There's levels. There's levels. There's first grade, there's second grade, there's third grade. Wes, what you're talking about is eighth grade. I'm talking about ground level.
Okay.
A relationship is a bondmanship that you want to have with the person that you're attracted to. You know what my brother told me, my oldest brother? He said, he peeped my game, right? This was back then, years ago. He said, hey, don't always pursue who you like. He said, sometimes accept who likes you. It's a lot of people right now in a relationship, they didn't even like each other. She was flattered because this nigga met her in a club. He was flattered because this bitch met him in a strip club or at a grocery store. He didn't even like her, but he was flattered. This bitch didn't even like him, but she was flattered. I think relationships fail because you don't even like each other from the jump. It's built off of lust and it's built off of sexuality. It's not built off of saying, you know what? I want to bond with this person. I want to build with this person. I want to establish something with this person. If you remove sex from a relationship, you should have a relationship with your significant other like you should have with your brother or your sister. If you remove sex, if you remove sex from it, you should have a relationship. When my sister come around or my brothers come around, I love them to death. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, sis, what's up? Sis. That's how your relationship would be. But I think we're fogged in because we put other carnal activities involved in a relationship. A relationship should be established by a bond that you seek to make with that one person. And that one person alone. But there's so many other distractions, we don't even know the establishment of what a relationship really is. But I have to put it back at the footstool of the women. The women have shown to try to show us men why they don't need us. And that's why a lot of you bitches relationships are failing. Because you're trying to replace us in every other way and you can't. You can't.
I got
You
I got
say it louder, it may be true.
You not know real man.
It ain't
You
true.
don't know what a man is.
I gotta disagree with you. I gotta disagree with you. And this is why. I'm just gonna say this.
I don't think nobody.
Everybody fuck up, man. We can't just put the shit on the women. The women would have never been put in a situation where they had to show their masculinity or their independence. You know what I mean? Had the brothers would have been there from the jump. And I've went back and forth with different people about this same situation, same scenario. The problem is when something happens by default, it wasn't part of the ecosystem, right? It wasn't the way that it was supposed to go. You back a motherfucker into the corner, you don't know what they're capable of doing, right? You know what I mean? You get put until you're confronted with a situation, you don't know what type of person that you gonna be or what that situation is gonna turn you into. Some dudes go to jail and was soft and they come out hard. Some dudes thought they was hard, went to jail and come out soft. Like you just never know until you actually put into that situation what you're gonna be faced with. So I feel I'm just gonna say this and then I'll let you have it. I feel like a lot of these women who are single mothers are left to kind of fend for themselves. We're not talking about the ones that are just terrible and want to be spiteful to the baby daddies. No, we ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the ones that genuinely were who they were supposed to be and they got forced into a situation where they had to be a provider for a whole family in a place where it takes two people. They had to be two parents. They had to, hold on. I'm gonna give it to you. They had to, because as a single father, I know what that's came with. I know what that's came with. And until you actually walk in them shoes, you can't really put that title on somebody and then make it seem like, oh, they were independent because of the choice. Sometimes we're not making choices and options.
I never stuck my dick in a female that I never said to myself, if I sperm this bitch, do I want this child?
Man, shut your lying ass up, nigga. What the fuck?
How old are we? Are we grown? Like, have a fucking emotional intelligence. Like, are we having an intelligent conversation? Or what are we doing?
And I didn't realize the cost for that. Never.
So that means you went raw every time, then. That means you went raw every time, then. That means every time you know. That means you went raw every time. Every
80, time. I gotta say this. 80. I gotta say this. First of all, I'm not trying to come down on women. I'm just being realistic about the situation. And I say this all the time. Like Dana here, Dana was married. She had a child with her ex-husband, right? And I'm not saying that all marriages going to work out, but here's the dynamic of her situation. She said that she has a great co-parenting situation, right? And I feel that is partly because she was married. But I just want to be clear about something. If majority of women that are single mothers, if they demanded a ring before they had a kid and did not allow a man, because listen, and let's just be real, there's no way if a man came inside you, you let that happen. Because unless he took it, that woman allowed it to happen. So let's be clear. If more women demanded a ring before they ever had a child, there would be a lot less single mothers out here. And that's just a fact. There would be a lot less single mothers out here because you know why? Because you know what? No, I'm explaining why, Dana. No, Dana, I'm explaining why. Because if it took that man to marry you before you had a child, a lot of niggas wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have made it. They would not have made it. If women demanded a ring before they had a child, the men wouldn't have made it. Right. They wouldn't have made it.
Women have more power than what women want to say they have. And the reason why women don't want to say they have that power is because they're looking for an excuse to blame us. Women are looking for an excuse to get for their family.
First of all, you can't speak for women just like I can't speak for men. So you can't speak for me. So listen.
What's your body count? What's your body count?
Nigga, if I'm not fucking you, that's none of your business, okay? That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk.
Wow.
I can tell you, man.
First of all,
I've been with a dozen of women. That means or more. That means I got more education on how women move than you do.
That's nonsense.
You got you.
Just because you say it doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it true. You know that, right?
You guys want to control the narrative of your failure. Your failure is yourself. You guys are gatekeepers.
Hold on.
You guys are gatekeepers. A woman is a gatekeeper of her future. Nobody is raping you out here. I've never raped a bitch, ever. You guys are gatekeepers.
Listen.
Funny.
Listen. So as a man, you don't assume no responsibility for where you put your dick at, right? Hold on.
Reflection. I mean,
so as a man, and hold on, real and reflection, both of y'all. So as a man, you have no responsibility for where you put your dick at there, right? So you gonna leave it up to an emotional woman to decide whether or not where you put your dick at, right? Y'all niggas is terrible, bro.
I mean,
y'all
80,
niggas is terrible, bro.
80. Hold on, reflection. Let me get him. Can I get him reflection? Can I get him reflection? I'm 47 with no kids. Yes, nigga. I know what I'm doing out here. I was not out here going. I was not out here going raw. I wasn't out here going raw in every chick. It's called a condom, and I used them very well.
Okay then. So
I took the responsibility. So as a man, I assume the responsibility to not just get anybody pregnant.
But that's the whole thing though. But there's not. You are probably the 1% of the niggas that's in the age group that we are that don't have no kids.
But it's a choice though.
I get that. But so that means everybody else is on this panel. That means everybody else is on this panel assume responsibility for their actions.
You know how many? Matter of fact,
you're playing devil's advocate. Wes, you're playing devil's advocate. I've never betted a woman that I never thought about. What if this happens ever? Any female?
You mean every woman that you had sex with, you can picture her being your baby mama? That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
But 80.
Blame you,
nigga.
When it gets, I didn't have my first until I was 45. I didn't have my first until I was 45.
Yo.
Any situation that you don't get involved in, man, you know what you're doing as a man. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And what makes it even worse, that woman doesn't know what she's doing. Women are gatekeepers to their existence. They know what they're doing. The wedding and the marriage date is about the woman. It ain't even about the man. So how is it that you're going to go and walk down the altar and down the aisle with this man that you're not even sure of that you love? You're not even sure of that you can trust them. But you're walking down the aisle because you want to do this situation in your mind that you're assuming, oh, this is what my mother did. This is my great grandmother.
There's no man out there that wanted to be married. Get the fuck out of here. You just
but here's the thing.
You just
but here's the thing.
Wrong.
No, but here's
my
thing.
No man out here that chose to get married. Women just all want to get married. They just out here. Everybody want to get married. Every woman.
But who accepts the proposal?
What the?
But here's my thing. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Crazy talk.
What I'm saying is, I have chosen. I have chosen to use condoms.
Very good.
I chose. I knew that if I'm with a woman and we wasn't in a committed relationship, and because a lot of women I slept with, we were not in a relationship. We were not committed. But I chose. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. So with me, hold on, 80. So with me knowing that, I'm like, yes, I'm using condoms. Even my relationships in the beginning, yes, we